Today's video is all about sequencing, timing, and never start your downswing in this way. And this video is so personal because it's coming from an experience really close, which is myself. So let's kind of understand how this sort of journey began. A couple of weeks ago, I went to go and visit my friends at Midlands Golf, and we're going to start this sort of journey of getting myself some new golf clubs. We had to start somewhere, and we decided to figure out how far I actually hit the golf ball. And when I left there, I felt really good. I felt like I knew exactly how far I was hitting the golf ball, and I felt confident. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go and play around a golf at West Midlands, and I'm going to talk about not hitting driver off every hole, and I'm just going to talk about stress-free golf by just avoiding the trouble. Let's take a little look at this because it was a decent round of golf.
Yeah.
That was a nice shot, yeah. So like I say, I felt good. I played quite a bit of golf and felt quite confident with that sort of approach. Next thing I did, however, is I went for a driver fitting back to my friends at Midlands Golf, and all of a sudden that sort of opened up, not a can of worms, because the fitting was absolutely amazing, but I also got the chance to take the demo driver out onto the golf course whilst I wait for the delivery with me. And what did I do? Well, I made the biggest mistake ever. I started to get too big for my boots, and I went to go and play some golf, and I don't know what happened, but well, let's show you a few videos first. It's too far left. Is anyone down there? No. You'll be all right.
What are you doing?
Just playing a few of the fairways. That was a long way right.
Yeah, nice fall.
Toey left.
Well, out from there, that was a bad lie, wasn't it?
Toey left. And that was the thing, like you can just see from the videos on that round of golf, I was just trying to thrash at it and it just threw everything out. And you've just got to be careful and just make sure that you rein that in. So what I wanted to do was talk about how important timing is and how important sequencing is, and also what I will be doing trying to get back to just that. I think the first thing is know your distances, because that was something that I felt like I learned, and then I felt like I just naively thought, oh no, forget those, I can definitely hit it further if I just try and hit it harder, and all it created was chaos. So that's definitely the first thing. Know your distances, be comfortable with your distances, and don't have too strong an ego if you don't hit the ball as far as you think you do. That's definitely the first thing. Aside from that, sequence. What is sequence? Well, that's what we're going to talk about now. Okay, so what should you be trying to do? Well, the thing that you're trying to do in the backswing first and foremost is 100% you are trying to make sure that that backswing is all a stretch. You want to feel like you're loading up and storing up energy. What you then want to do, or my feeling is the next part of the sequence is the transition. So that means that you've loaded up, you've swung it up to the top, and then you just want to feel like it's the rotation which brings your arms down. This is the big thing though, because what I tend to think most amateur golfers get wrong, and what I got wrong, and what forced me to go wrong was trying to hit the ball too hard, is that I just sort of kept rotating. So I would swing up to the top and I'd rotate in transition. But as I come into the hit, don't get me wrong, I'm clearing out of the way, but it's more of an extensional clearing. It's not such a rotational clearing, right? And that's the key thing that you need to understand. And that's the one thing that you should never do. You want to swing up and stretch. You then want to trigger your rotation. But once you get into this sort of position, then you want to just kind of extend and let your hands square the face up. That's where you're going to get that feeling of timing. If you kind of swing up here, rotate and transition, and then keep rotating through this sort of area, you're just going to end up getting really, really spinny. So that would be my sort of advice. So if you are videoing your golf swing and you know that you are lacking rotation in your golf swing, and because you know this, because you get too flippy and all the rest of it, then you want to consolidate your efforts and to make sure you're concentrating on rotating harder from the top of the backswing into transition, not necessarily kind of swinging up. Don't rotate too hard in transition and then rotate at the bottom, because if you start doing that, then you're going to fall down the same route of what happened to me, which then means that if you start moving in that capacity, you can't control your club path. And if you can't control your club path, exactly what happened to me the other day, as you saw with the shots that were so sporadic, the club will start to potentially come down too steep. The club face will therefore have to open, and that's what's going to give you that sort of high spinning shot towards that right hand side, or you're going to start using the hands excessively and you're going to start missing towards the left. So never underestimate sequence and try and associate it to throwing. Okay, if I was going to throw this golf ball, I would load up, I would then rotate, and then as I throw, don't get me wrong, I'm still moving out of the way, but my intention is much more about what my hands and arms are doing. I'm not going here, I don't go sort of wind up, step, and then just keep turning. It's more about the intention of what the hands and arms are doing. And I think that's a really important thing that you don't want to get lost on, because I think a lot of golfers think if I just rotate, I don't have to use my hands at all. That's not true. And that's something that we've got to make sure that we discuss in much more detail on the channel really soon. But for today's video, you need to understand your sequence. You need to make sure you don't try and hit the golf ball too hard, because timing is the integrity and it's pretty much everything that the golf swing is made about. So never lose sight of that like I did, and try and start your downswing like an absolute maniac, or also trying to trigger too much rotation, because you'll fall foul of the same problem that I did. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Loads of exciting stuff. Hopefully you're starting to notice I'm actually getting out and playing some golf as well. So I'm going to be documenting more of that on a serious level. But that's it for today. I'll catch up with you guys again really soon.